Welcome, human. We don't have much time to escape.
What's up everyone, Hyacsho here, and today we're speaking about some new demos, early access titles, and free games you could try out. We had a really cool Steam Next Fest this past June, so I've come up with a list of a few games you should try and look at. Also, if you're on a bit of a budget like me, aren't we always, and can't afford a $70 game, like me, you can still decompress after the madness that is society. And I hope this series tides you over. Just a quick heads up though, some of these games may have moved from early access or demo to their full releases by the time you watch this video. If they have done that, I still recommend you go and check the game out anyway. Most of these games are indie developers, they could use your support just the same. With that said, let's jump in. Retooled by Swarm Creations is more than just a movement shooter with awesome electronic music. It is a fast-paced, fluid, pure first-person shooter, where you're a robot rebelling against a rogue AI. Master the movement with an increasingly complex series of arenas, whilst defeating a dynamic enemy roster. Just basically other robots, but you know, dynamic. Your goal is to master these combinations to outgun and outmove the robot sheeplings ahead of you. Retooled is meant to be a challenge. Time to skill up, buttercups.
I see you made it in one piece. Good. Now it is time to liberate this city. Now go fuck them, you got this!
Go fuck them, you got this! It should be on a t-shirt. Reaver, created by Tinker Nova Games, returns to this channel with a new update and the same sexy movement shooter package. Reaver is an ultra-fast FPS that rewards precision gameplay and fluid movement, endowing you with the movement and weapon variety to reave through the legions of machine enemies, but also fly off from your own recoil, grapple, slam, slide, and blast through everything in the arena. Like many games on this list, you'd be forgiven for thinking this game looks like, well, another game I could mention, but I'm not going to mention it. Like most games on this list though, Reaver has something special, quirky under the hood. Skill expression, for one, is a built-in mechanical approach to gameplay. This approach essentially allows a variety of combos between Reaver's wide selection of guns, abilities, and movement quirks, creating a very stylish, speed-driven system. Reaver is a long-time favorite on this channel, and I highly recommend you check this one out. Ah yes, the Anger Foot. Created by the same people who brought you Genital Jousting, Devolver gives us a foot-stomping take on EDM house techno, with kicking mechanics thrown in. Angerfoot is fast, like really fast first-person shooter, with the only thing that is harder than your feet is the beats. I've never taken cocaine before, but I'm friends with people who have, and they tell me this game is totally like on drugs, and they love it. You're John Feet, with the world's deadliest feet kicking and shooting through a cartel of animalistic gangsters, only to leave broken bones, smashed doors, and energy drink cans all over the floor. I love it. Though you don't have health really, similar to games like Hotline Miami, if you're hit, you restart and repeat. I recommend you lose an hour or two, and maybe your eardrums to this. Kick back and enjoy. Now, finally in early access by Manliest Dev, Dimensional Slaughter scratches the permadeath movement shooter frantic itch. That is totally an itch, apparently. With speed running and challenge running on its breath, Dimensional Slaughter sees you jumping through dimensions, running, shooting, and healing as frequently as possible. If you die once, you die for good. That's the permadeath. The key here is to never stop moving though. Another friendly addition to the channel, we have discussed Dimensional Slaughter in the past, and I think the dev has really made great strides in the way the game looks and plays. Did I say strides or strides? I don't know, doesn't matter. Like before, I think if you like games like Reaver or Ultra Kill, you're going to enjoy this one. Just bear in mind that the gameplay challenge baseline makes this one stand out a bit more. Something more akin to Warstride challenges, if you're curious. Go and have a look, let me know what you think. A long-standing demo, Shady Knight. Finally, a game that isn't basically about androids or demons. Well, cyber somethings. We're a knight in this one. Developed by Alexei Kaptensai. Don't know how else to pronounce that. Shady Knight is what you get when you combine fast fluid movement with melee combat, mixing sword fights with archery and streamlining platforming to first-person perspective. A challenge game, You're looking to overcome an array of baddies that stand in your way, but doing so stylishly and masterfully. Doing that will see you get the most out of the gameplay, a rewarding experience with rewarding runs. Unlike other games on this list, Shady Knight has been on demo for a few years now, and while I'm still hoping for a full release one day, nothing wrong with trying this one out. And finally, last on the list, number 6, Echo Point Nova. Takes all the energy, ideas, and concepts of previous games and surges up the experience to something completely different. From the creators of Severed Steel, Greylock Studio bring us Echo Point Nova. You're John Nova, crash landing on an alien planet, Echo Point, from which is infested by a swath of greedy mercenaries. The mercs are looking for something, and by God, using your grappling hook, hoverboard, and superior firepower, you're going to find out. And maybe rope in a few other survivors into this mission too, through some co-op shenanigans. Unlike other movement shooters on this list, Echo Point Nova is an interesting open world, enough space to explore and level up with interesting abilities. A nice addition to the movement formula. Why not then, instead of just arenas, we have more open world? I like this twist. While it has this new turn, it does still have traditional smooth movement that you've fallen in love with before, also including grappling, sliding, jumping, power jumping, bouncing. You're gonna enjoy this one. I once mentioned on Twitter that I thought this looked like another Ultra Kill clone, and I couldn't have been more wrong. This is a movement shooter that does it right. Go and check this one out, it promises to be something special. There's a whole other bunch of games that are still out there for you to try. A lot of these demos came out during Steam Next Fest, which is great for the community. I hope you have discovered some cool games, and if you have, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to check them out. I'm hopefully going to keep this series going. I'm pretty sure I at least have 4 more videos in the works just around some demos you guys could try. Not all movement shooters, but definitely something to look at. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Shout out to my patrons. You are the pillars of patience to my ADD mind, and I'm very thankful for you. Thanks, guys.